Spotify Originals presents Horror Map. Horror stories from across the globe. All of the characters and incidents in this podcast are fictional and does not have any relation with real characters. Any similarity to them is completely coincidental and imaginary. Paranormal, uncanny. These words have lost their worth. The weight of horror onto the powerful incandescent and LED lights of the urban cities. Still, at times incidents occur out of blue, which may not seem to have a logical reason. Those are the incidents that bring traces of inquiry, of suspect, that there might be a thing as a ghost, an energy field. I'm a ghost journalist. Yeah, it may sound a bit weird like the movie Ghostbusters, but no. I'm just a person who pens down incidents narrated to me by various people from different backgrounds. Let me narrate the first entry in my journal. 14th March 2019, 6 p.m. I was sitting at a table in Starbucks in Park Street, sipping a cup of steaming, foamy cappuccino, waiting for a person who had contacted me the day before, promising that he had a very interesting supernatural incident to share. At that time, I was eager to get someone to narrate me a real-life experience. So here I was at Starbucks, waiting for him. Over the phone, he told me that his name was Suresh Agarwal. After another 10 minutes, he arrived, dressed in a black suit and jeans, which looked a bit awkward in that ambience. He was in his late 20s. His facial expressions were bright and did not look like a person whose mind could easily play tricks on him. After he seated himself, I ordered another cup of coffee and told him to begin his story. He started. I was 19 when this incident happened. It was a Monday night, on my way back from tuition near the racecourse. It started raining heavily and stopped when it was almost 9:30. I knew now if I took a cab, I would not reach home before 11:30 p.m. through the waterlogged roads. So I called up my mum and told her that I would have my dinner at a nearby restaurant and then hire a cab, as I felt quite hungry by then. When I came out of the restaurant, it was 10:25 p.m. by my wristwatch. The congestion seemed to have lessened on the streets. I booked an Ola cab on the phone, but after 10 minutes of trying to make the driver understand where I was, I gave up and cancelled my ride. Then I hailed up a taxi. The Bihari driver asked, "Kahan jana hai, sir?" I gave him the address and then did a quick check of the street traffic on Google and told the driver to take a diversion to Park Street, as it was showing completely empty on the Google map. Then I put on my headphone and put on a track from the Spotify. After a few minutes, I remembered that I had to send a few notes to one of my tuition friends, so I tried to access a gallery in my phone. Instead, the camera opened up. I had noticed this memory problem on my phone for a few days and was thinking of sending my phone for servicing. I clicked the gallery icon on my phone, but instead, the video recording started itself. I immediately removed my phone casing and did an unplugging and plugging in the battery again and booted the phone up. Now it worked perfectly. I opened up my gallery and sent the required notes. Then I was just about to play another playlist from my phone when suddenly my eyes went to the most recent video on my phone, the one that got recorded before I had taken out the battery of my phone. I was about to delete it when the thumbnail caught my eye. The thumbnail of the video showed the front seat part of the taxi and the view outside the windscreen. Everything was there. The driver of the front seat was not there in the entire 7-second video clip. Only an empty driver's seat and the steering wheel turning by itself, preventing the car from collision with others. I jumped in my seat and looked at the driver's seat. No, it was not empty, of course. The driver was seated there. The only thing that made me scream in fright and jump out of the moving car was that the driver's head was turned 180-degree backwards, glaring at me with its lava-red eyes. I started running wildly across the road on the footpath, then started running to the nearest shop I could see. I felt a feeling of relief creeping over me as I saw the face of a shopkeeper. At least saw another human finally. I booked a cab and finally reached home at 12:50 a.m. A hunch made me do a research on Google for any accidents or deaths that had occurred in Kolkata that day. A particular article caught my eye. that read, "An unidentified dead body of a taxi driver had been found on National Highway 16. Suresh completed its story. The coffee house was now relatively empty. Only 2 other tables, other than our, were occupied. Darkness had masked away all the sun rays, and had brought down dark, mysterious night. I paid the bill, and Suresh and me made our way outside the coffee shop in the milling crowd of millions on a busy Park Street night.